All right, and it says we're live. Okay, this is the sound check portion of the show, people. Let us know how we sound. Say something.
Hi, guys.
All right. So let us know how we sound, and then we'll get started here in a few minutes. Oh, I had a great idea for a standalone show for us, by the way.
What's that?
So throughout the week, we take note of anything that the other person does to bother us, just in our daily lives, you and me. And then every show, it's just like Festivus, the airing of grievances.
I was just thinking that, like a weekly airing of grievances.
And that's it. That's all the show is. It's just us working out our problems for the week. Like, you took 75% of the bed on Saturday night. I was so tired. I couldn't sleep.
And then we can just stop talking about it and then turn it off. Like no resolution. Just the yelling.
Just the airing of grievances.
And then
no
we're
resolution.
like, thanks, guys. And then turn it off.
And thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week. All right. I'm not seeing no clicks, no nothing in the chat. So come on, guys. This is the portion where you participate and you let us know how we sound. So I see we've got Helmet Fire, we got Luna Girl, Dragon Buddy. I saw Hector. I see Chantel, right? No. Oh, General Chinobi. Chantal? Is that how you say her name? She's in the chat every week. How do you pronounce it? All right, we got Bronco Fett. He's giving us a click, so we know we're good. All right. Everything is looking fantabulous. So, can they see your shirt? Your big ass monitor is blocking the way.
My monitor is giant.
Yeah.
Oh, this way, right?
There we go. Perfect. Yep. In honor of James Webb this week.
Mm-hmm.
Chantal. Right?
It's not like we can hear them correcting you.
No, but she's writing it in the chat.
Okay.
Shanty. Like Shanty? I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Apparently it's not easy.
I'm terrible with names. Was that due to COVID, Tom? That's interesting. I've never heard of a college team opting out of a bowl game. Thought those were important for money making. So, and we got Ivo. So, thanks, Lockheed, sending me more job offers.
That's great.
Well, not job offers, but
congratulations.
We think you'd be great in this position. It's like, what?
I know.
The timing couldn't have been worse. Couldn't have been worse. All right. Fuck, I guess we're ready, huh? Think so?
I guess, yeah.
All right. And I think we'll do a countdown, and then we'll start with my toast.
Oh, you're doing the toast?
Unless you want to.
No.
You don't have anything?
No.
Okay.
I forgot there was a toast.
It is in the notes.
I didn't read the notes.
It's the first line of the notes.
I should read the notes.
You should read the notes. So, all right. Well, shit. I guess we're going to get going. Normally I've got Dave here to kind of run through the checklist of things. Are you recording the audio? Are you doing this?
I got nothing.
All right.
As the guest, I don't have to do a thing.
That is true. All right. Well, I'm going to give us a countdown and then we'll get rolling. To March 20th, 2022.
What is that date?
So, for context, today in the lovely state of New Jersey, we got our first snow flurries. So
yeah.
it's the true start of winter, and March 20th, 2022, by most calendars, is the first day of spring. So here's hoping for an easy next 3 months.
God, yes.
And an easy start to spring. But
Yeah. I was almost snowed in at my favorite restaurant.
I feel like you're exaggerating a little bit. Like nothing stuck.
No.
So, okay. Anyway, that being said, hello everyone, and welcome to the Sidebar Cantina, the podcast where we talk about Star Wars, pop culture, weather phenomena, or whatever the fuck we feel like talking about. I'm Mr. Jason Roskam. Not with me here this week is Dave. Dave is out gallivanting around the Northeast, enjoying his Christmas vacation. So joining me is a very special guest, the new CFO of the Sidebar Cantina, the avid book reader,
Yeah.
cross-stitch artist, mother of my 3 children, my lovely wife, Kristen. Hello.
Hello.
And welcome.
Thank you.
How you feeling?
Very nervous.
All right, well, don't worry. We'll get through this.
Okay.
We'll push through together.
Okay.
But this is the point where I normally ask Dave, what are we talking about today?
Well, let me look at the show notes.
Oh, good. Good call.
It looks like we're discussing Dexter.
Yes. The original Showtime series,
Yes.
because you and I have just started cranking through the New Blood series. We're 4 episodes in?
4 or 5, but it might be 4.
No, I feel like we did 4 last night.
Okay.
The 4th episode last night. So, yeah, we're just starting to get into the New Blood. We felt like, well, shit, since you're going to fill in for Dave this week, we might as well talk about something that we're doing right now. And I felt like a look back at the original Dexter series would be a good thing. So,
And Dave is not into Dexter, right?
I don't think he's ever watched it, honestly.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So he's not, like, going to be upset that we're talking about Dexter.
Well, you know what? Fuck him.
You know,
Even
maybe
if he
we
is
should have
upset.
run that past Dave.
Now, you know what? I don't give a shit.
Wow.
I do what I want.
Wow.
I only say that because Dave's not here.
Yeah,
and he can't
yeah.
pull a knife
I
on
was
me
just
or
thinking
anything.
that. Yeah, I don't have any knives, so
I know, so I'm
can
not
feel
too
more
concerned.
free.
Now, on Thursday, when Dave gets back and we talk about the Book of Boba Fett, maybe.
yeah.
So, just want to mention that we are a proud member of the Red 5 Network, and stay tuned for the end of the show because I have a read regarding Red 5 and a giveaway that we're doing. So, stick around for that. But, in the meantime, we're going to hop right into one of the main reasons why I wanted to bring you on today. So one thing that Dave and I learned as we've been doing this whole Dave and Jason show for 227 episodes now, we're really no good at certain things. Obviously, we are terrible
Right,
at
yep.
promoting ourselves on our social media. That's why we brought Luna Girl onto the team as our social media director. She's been doing a phenomenal job getting us out there a hell of a lot more than we would. Another problem we had was when we were trying to do a Patreon before, when we were doing all things Star Wars. Again, we were very terrible at following up with a lot of the reward tiers and everything else. So we figured we'd bring another member onto the team, and that is now you as our chief financial officer. And you're going to be handling all of the financials, the books of the Sidebar Cantina, namely our Patreon.
Yes.
So that's why you were here. That's why I'm here. And yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit. And the new Patreon that is online right now.
Okay. Guess I should take a look at that. Yes. So we're going to be we're restarting the Patreon,
Yes.
and we've got some tiers, and I don't remember what the old tiers look like.
It was a whole spattering of different things. I think we had like 4 different payment levels, like 1, 5, 10, and 20. We're keeping it low this time because right off the bat, the thing that I want to be very transparent about is we're not looking to make any money off of this at all. We're mostly just looking to pay the bills because we have a hosting service that we have to pay for. We pay extra money to Google for our Google Drive so we can hold a lot more space on there, and a couple other just show expenses that we want to just make sure we can pay for, because you and I here in the Roskam household, starting in January, we're doing a massive amount of budget cutting and trying to pay off bills. And don't look so sad. Like, come on, let's be honest. Barely anything's going to change for you. So,
I'll hold you to that.
right. But yeah, no, we're really cutting expenses because I just re-enlisted in the Air Force for another 3 years. I just got my set of orders last week. So 3 more years of pain I have signed up for. Even though I could retire any time, I decided to re-enlist, and over the next 3 years, we're going to get all of our finances in order. We're going to get completely out of debt. I've got a plan to get all of our existing debt paid off, get the car paid off, and be in a really good standing for when I do retire.
Very smart.
Yep.
It's the right decision.
Yeah. So, but part of that is obviously cutting unnecessary expenses. The podcast, something I've been paying out of pocket for the hosting and everything else for pretty much as long as we've been doing this. So we want to try to offset those costs. Again, we're not looking to fleece anybody for money. We're just looking to kind of get a little bit of assistance. So we've only got 3 payment tiers in our Patreon.
Just 3?
3, yeah.
Okay.
Why? Like, unless you do want to sell nudes on there, we can do like a $50 or $100 tier if you want to do that. But I tried convincing her to do that, and she wasn't down. So, all right, and nobody wants to see my nudes. So
yeah, so should we get into what is going to be for each tier?
Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and start us with what all tiers get?
Okay, so a Patreon at any level will get a priority in the Fantasy Football League. And what that means is when we have open slots for the teams, then we will see who's a Patreon subscriber, and they will be considered as a higher priority to join the league.
Right. Well, I think even more than that, starting next year, it's going to be sort of a clean slate. We're going to completely clear the Fantasy Football League to the point we're going to keep 12 slots. Sidebar Cantina staff members all get first priority. We get priority more than anybody else. Next priority goes to our Patreon subscribers. And then the next priority goes to anybody who's been in the league already. So we're doing this because a lot of people are constantly trying to get into the league, and we want to do sort of a fair way to allow people to get into it. So,
and we've both been in leagues where it was open to 20 teams and nobody had any fun.
Yeah, no,
so
it's miserable.
We need to keep it, a small amount, and we don't, like excluding anyone. So this seems to be a fair way to do it.
So, yes. And this is assuming our patrons want to be in the Fantasy Football League. But
we won't force you.
If they do want to be in the league, patrons will get higher priority than non-patrons. So that is one of the bigger perks, I guess, of being a patron. But what else we got?
We have a shout out on the show every week.
Yes.
You will get recognition as a supporter of the podcast.
Because you are the reason why we do this.
Snaps is not on there.
It's, you just rolled in with the shout out.
Okay, excellent. We're going to be putting up polling questions to help forge new directions in the show.
Yes.
So we want to know, what you like to see, what you don't like to see, what features or segments you enjoy, what you don't, and we'll really listen to viewer feedback.
Yeah, just kind of crafting the direction of the show, because we do a lot of weird different segments on the show. We new things spring up all the time, like this or that, when we talk about our weeks. But we have no idea how much people actually enjoy or don't enjoy those segments.
Right.
So that's one thing I want to do is on the Patreon, do polls where it's like, hey, do you guys like this or that?
Do you care what Jason did this week?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we want to know.
Yeah. So we'll take that feedback into account, and we'll sort of use it to craft a new direction for the show.
Right.
So,
what is things we can't do on YouTube?
So, something else that Patreon is really good for is additional content, videos, things like that. Specifically, I'll give you a great example. When Dave and I did Birdemic, our YouTube feed got shut down because we had Birdemic up, and the copyright holders of the movie shut it down. While we were streaming, they shut the fucking YouTube down.
Yes.
So the Patreon will give us the opportunity to make videos exclusively for Patreon that would normally get struck down on YouTube. Basically, we would get in a room together. We'd decide, all right, we're going to watch the holiday special today, and we're going to do a full reaction. And we'll record the video and upload it straight to Patreon. Obviously, can't do that on YouTube, but you can do it on Patreon. Or we can even watch an entire episode of Book of Boba Fett for the first time here in front of everybody, record the video, upload it, and people can see our reaction. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Basically, shit that we can't easily do on YouTube without some kind of copyright.
I would pay a
nonsense.
lot of money to be in the room with Dave while he watches the holiday special.
It's always an experience. Even though we've watched it for the show at least once, probably twice, it's something that I would gladly do again.
Was he there? Did you actually see him watching it?
Yes, there was one time
Okay.
that we did. Yeah, we sat on the couch over there, watched it on the TV. It was glorious.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
That second half is rough. No matter how much excitement you have going in, you really lose steam at about the 3/4 mark.
Yeah.
It's a struggle.
The wiki cries just like start scratching the inside of your brain. It's just like, oh God, stop. So anyway, is that everything for all tiers?
That is all for all tiers.
All right. So what do we get at the $1 level?
Oh, I said shout out already.
Okay.
So that's the $1 because that's all tiers.
Indeed.
And then at the $5 tier, an annual thank you gift.
Yes.
TBD. We have no idea what that's going to be, but
TBD. I think I had that once in the 90s. Don't ask.
yeah, please don't. Yes, an annual thank you gift at the $5 tier. And I feel like we need another $5 thing. And that's kind of been bothering me, but I can't come up with anything yet. So that's a poll question right there.
Oh yeah. What else do you want at the $5
Yeah.
tier?
And then at the $10 tier, so there's 1, 5, and 10, a semi-annual thank you gift, one show topic of your choice
Annually.
annually. And that's the last thing, because I thought there was another line. Okay.
Oh, we did talk about doing guest spots too.
Oh, yes, guest spots.
At the $10 level.
If somebody wants to, if they are really into a certain topic, and not only do they want to see you and Dave talk about it, but they might actually want to be there, either remotely or in studio, then
Yep.
they would try to make that happen.
Yep. Oh, one other thing too, that if we get any surplus funds that I'd like to invest in early on is an actual trophy for the fantasy football. We can do it with like the plates that have, you can do like
Yes.
multiple plates, so we engrave names on them for each winner for each year.
I think we need that for the league.
Yeah. So I think we'll do that too with like some of our initial surplus money if we get some. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. And your role as the CFO is going to be to kind of manage that, keep me and Dave on point because you're really good at that, and yeah, sort of pay our bills, pay our hosting service with that money, and
And manage the Patreon page and keep it up to date and all that good stuff.
yeah. And if you come up with more perks, then those are yours to change and update and do whatever as you see fit.
Absolutely.
So, anything else on the Patreon before we move on?
Just that the Patreon apparently is live right now.
Yes,
So visit it at. Do you have it as a scrolling banner?
I do, but you can also read it for the
Patreon.
audio.
Patreon.com/the sidebar cantina.
That's right. And anything you can do to help is greatly appreciated. Again, we're not looking to take advantage of anyone. We just need some help paying the bills and want to add some new stuff to the show. And yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, cool. Only bit of news that I wanted to talk about is we have Book of Boba Fett coming out on Wednesday, 2 days from now. Super excited. You and I need to figure out how the fuck we're going to watch that since you're... Oh, no, you don't close late on Wednesdays, right?
I'm
okay.
home at. I think I'm at home at 7 or 6:30.
Okay, so we'll have to watch it late Wednesday night. But yeah, I'm going to be avoiding any and all spoilers all day Wednesday. I'm going to be off social media because I really do feel like they have to give us something big in this first episode.
Right.
Just like they did in that first episode of Mandalorian with Baby Yoda. So I feel like they've got to do something. It's probably not going to be another Baby Yoda type situation, but there's got to be something.
Another Baby Yoda type situation.
Yeah, so I'm staying off all social media, and yeah, can't wait to see it. And just to remind people, Dave and I will be back for our God damn it, I want to keep saying Mandalorian. Our Book of Boba Fett recap on Thursday night, the 30th. Yes. So we will be back on Thursday for a special midweek episode of the show. You ready to get into our weeks?
Let's do it.
All right. So for me, I turned 45 last week,
He did.
and my body immediately started breaking down.
It was like instant. It was really weird.
Yeah. So I think I mentioned it last week on the show. I've been feeling like these weird pains in my side, and they've only gotten worse. Christmas Day, they got really bad to the point where I actually drove myself to urgent care and sat in an urgent care for about 2 or 3 hours on Christmas night. So that was fun. No results from any tests yet. They took a bunch of blood. They took my urine, asked me a ton of questions, and so far nothing. So we'll see.
Yes, and you're going to the regular doctor hopefully soon?
Yes. I have to see my insurance people tomorrow about like referrals and all that shit because it's never easy. It's never easy with the healthcare system.
And that is why you are drinking Diet Dr. Thunder.
Diet Dr. Thunder. Yeah, because I'm still staying away from the alcohol because that's been a major trigger of these like pains. So it's probably just liver cancer. Yeah, what can you do? But that's that. Besides that, the new Scream movie is coming out in 2 weeks. And I don't know how many people have been following this, but yeah, they're making a new Scream. Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, David Arquette are all coming back, and I think this is their second attempt at a reboot where they're bringing in a new cast and everything because you haven't seen Scream 4 yet.
I forget that there is a Scream 4. I get them mixed up.
Right.
I don't know what I've seen and what I haven't seen. I know I've seen 1 and 2. That's all I remember.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's January 14th, I want to say, is when the new Scream comes out. And we have to see it in theaters. We saw the trailer together, and it looks really good.
It does.
Based on that trailer. So we have a history with the Scream movies, you
We
and
do.
I. Our very first date was watching the first Scream together. The year it came out on home video, which...
Yes.
Yeah, the first 2 Scream movies actually happened very, very quickly. The first one came out, I want to say, fall of 96. Because you and I started dating in 97. So, yeah, it came out on home video. Yeah, in, like, the summer of...
We started dating in 97? I thought it was 98.
No, 98 is when we moved in together.
We only lived together for 1 year.
Yeah, from the end of 98 to the end of 99.
Okay, fine.
Jesus Christ. So, anyway, yeah, so we saw the first Scream together on basically our first date.
Yeah.
I came over to your house. I brought the VHS with me. That was my in with Kristen, by the way. So
He almost blew it in the first 5 minutes, though.
how?
Do you remember?
Oh, the shushing?
Oh, my God. I am not a talker during movies because I know it's annoying. But, you know, once in a while, I'll say, like, one thing. It had just started, and I said, "Ooh, Drew Barrymore, I hope she dies." And he turns to me and gives me this, "Would you shut up? Look."
I didn't actually say that.
No, you didn't say it, but you glared at me, and I'm like, "Oh, that's how it is. Okay, this is going to be fun."
I don't even remember that, honestly. I just remember you retelling me that story. I do remember your mom coming out in her robe at one point halfway through the evening, and one of your siblings kind of like looking in, like, what's going on? But yeah, so we saw that first Scream together. Oh yeah, like I said, that was kind of my in because we had been working together for about a month or so at that point.
Sounds about right.
Maybe a little over a month, and I feel like the chemistry was definitely there, pretty much right from the start. So I'm like, okay, I got to figure out, you know, how to make this happen. So when I found out that you worked at Six Flags at the time, also, I'm like, okay, so
He was even more intrigued.
Yeah, because I was a huge thrill ride junkie at that point. And I went during Fright Fest. In fact, Halloween night.
That's right, it was.
I went to Six Flags Great Adventure because I knew you were working that night. And I visited you at your store because I knew you were there.
Yep.
You told me where you worked. I knew at this point I wanted, you know, to ask you out and all this, but obviously being a young 20-year-old nerd, not really the greatest at these kinds of things. And Scream was like at its peak, right? The first movie had come out. We were getting ready for the second movie that following January, I think. And everybody was walking around in the Scream masks at Great Adventure. And I pointed it out to you, and you're like, "Oh, I've never seen that movie." And I'm like, "That's my end."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, we should totally see that sometime. You should watch it. It's great. I'll go rent it. I'll bring it to your house. We can watch it together." Boom. She agreed, and the rest is history.
That's right.
So our whole 20 some odd year relationship started.
I don't know either.
Yeah, it's over 25 now.
Something like that.
Yeah. Started because Well, I used Scream as my in with you. So we have a bit of a history with that series. Saw the second one in theaters not long after that. We were officially dating at this point. Saw the third one in theaters. Kind of a disappointing movie overall. And then the fourth one didn't come out for like a damn near a decade after the third one. So it was pretty much off of our radar. And the only reason I saw it was on Netflix for a while, and I would think I was on a trip, and I'm just like, fuck it, I'll watch this. And I didn't dislike it. I thought it was fairly entertaining. They really play off of the remake reboot trend that was going on at the time. This was like 2011, 2012.
The whole like going meta and referencing themselves. And,
Oh yeah. So yeah, they were really playing on that in that movie. But I thought it was good. So you still need to see that Scream 4 before we see Scream 5, which is just called Scream.
Ugh. So should we watch all of them, or?
Well, I'll leave that to you. It's like, do you have the time for that? Because you're the one who works late.
I do. We'll talk about it. Yeah, I feel like I just saw the first Scream really recently. So.
Yeah, do you have one of our kids watch it?
I don't remember. I think I tried to get Ben to watch it, and he said, "Oh, I've seen that already."
Oh.
So yeah, I tried.
All right, fair enough. So that was the only other thing I had. So getting ready for Scream, because now the Spider-Man hoopla is sort of calming down a little bit. It's still making just like boatloads of money in theaters, but it's been over a week since I've seen it. So now I'm already looking on to the next thing. Scream's coming out in theaters. Really want to see it, assuming everything's not shut down for fucking Omicron. So that's really all I had. You got anything for your week?
Not really. It was basically just getting ready for Christmas.
Yeah.
Working kind of retail. I mean, it's retail, but it's not really retail because I don't really deal with people.
Yeah, you're in a unique aspect of retail.
I still see, the craziness of people, but I don't actually have to deal with them one-on-one.
Which is the best part.
It really is. So, yeah, basically just being busy all the way up to Christmas. We had a nice Christmas.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
And of course, it wasn't Christmas without one of our kids throwing up.
Every year a kid throws up. Mm-hmm. They're not ever sick. They just throw up.
Yes.
One time.
Yeah. Normally, it was always our oldest, Rob, because he would get so worked up and so excited, he would just throw up.
Yeah.
It was normally, first thing in the morning. Like, all right, kids, y'all ready to open presents?
Yeah.
So...
And, the youngest is 13, almost 14.
Yeah.
And we're all like, I guess those days are in the past. They are not.
Yeah. See, because the problem is our kids have a self-control issue. And when you give them stockings full of like chocolates and candies and massive Rice Krispie treats, they just can't contain themselves, and they just eat it all. And this year it was our son Adam. He just decided to eat everything.
Yeah. That one was a surprise. I would not have put my money on him being the puker this year.
Yeah, he's not a really big puker, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, and this was towards the end of the evening, too. This was after I got back from the urgent care.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm ready to get undressed and everything, and then all of a sudden we hear, "Oh, God!" Like, what the hell is that? And then I hear, like, "Help!" And then, and puke hitting carpet. Like,
with such velocity that it sounded like it was hitting tile.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, he might not have made it where he wanted to be, but at least he's in the bathroom.
No.
He was not. He was not.
He was in the middle of the upstairs hallway,
Yeah.
puking all over the carpet.
Yeah.
So that was fun to deal with.
Yeah.
And our house still smells like puke, so
Yeah.
don't come to visit anybody.
Yes. Yeah. So, other than that, it was a great Christmas.
Yeah.
That's kind of to be expected, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, that's normal for us. It's,
Yeah.
Nobody was really surprised.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that was it. That's basically my week, getting ready for Christmas and then cleaning carpets ever since.
all right, fantastic. So, that being said, let's roll right into our main topic today, because I don't have to use the bathroom because I'm not drinking alcohol. So.
Oh, that's a perk.
I know, right? So we're talking about Dexter, mostly the original series, because like I said at the top, you and I have been watching New Blood.
Yes. And we should say, first off, that we're not going to spoil anything from New Blood.
Right. But we are going to spoil the shit out of the original series.
Because it's been a long time and,
It's been like 8 years since the show ended, so if you don't want to get spoiled, you can turn the show off now.
And then go watch, 8 seasons of TV and then come back or something. I don't know.
8 seasons, hour each episode. I think it's 12 episodes per season. So you're going to be gone a while. But it's worth it because the first Dexter series I thought was a fantastic show.
I love that show.
Yep. And we started watching it. We didn't start watching it until at least after like the 3rd or 4th season was out.
That was what I was trying to remember.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was streaming somewhere. I mean, obviously, Showtime.
Well, Showtime. And I think at the time we had a cable subscription. Mm-hmm. So once we realized that we wanted to be watching the show, we changed it to have Showtime on our cable. And this was during the days of on demand. So before all the streaming services went big, the big thing with the cable companies was on demand, where if you had Showtime, there were certain shows or certain movies that were part of their network that you could just go on to and just play.
Yeah.
But it wasn't everything always available. There were some exceptions, but that's kind of how we got caught up on Dexter once we realized this is something that we wanted to watch. Now, refresh my memory. I feel like you started watching it before me.
I did. You were on a trip, and I have no idea where because it was just
one of my many trips.
All
during
one
that
long
time.
trip as far as it goes in my memory, you know. So you were on a trip, and I was looking for a show to watch without you because we always watch some shows together. And I watched probably the first 3 or 4 episodes. Maybe. And then I had to turn it off and call you and say, you should watch this because you would like this.
Yeah. And I even feel like I might have watched the first episode while I was on a trip. Like after you had told me that and been like, okay, yeah, I'm in. And then we just watched the rest of it together.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of how it went down. But again, we didn't start watching it until probably the 4th season was out. Because at this point, especially with the 4th season, that was where the buzz for the show was at its peak.
Right.
Season 4, by many critics and fans, was probably
including us.
Yeah, was the height of the show, and then it kind of started going downhill from there. So, yeah, season 4 is really where we picked it up, and of course, we binged everything up to that point, and then we kind of watched it live for like the last 3 or 4 seasons.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that was our show for quite a while. That was our favorite show.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we do. We pick a show and we sort of stick with it and watch it. And that, like with Game of Thrones, like that was always our show. While
or
that was
Lost.
Or Lost, before that. So yeah, we've always got like one show that we kind of dedicate ourselves to, and then we watch it to completion. And we did that with Dexter for many years.
Because he is not a TV person.
No, I'm
he
really not.
does not ever watch TV.
Yeah.
Other than I can't remember the last time I've seen you watch TV when I wasn't watching with you. You just don't.
Yeah, no, because even like the Star Wars stuff we watched together.
Yeah.
The animated Star Wars stuff, like the last season of
true.
Clone Wars and the Bad Batch. I did watch those with Adam, our son, but yeah, that's the only thing that I think I've watched without you. So, yeah, not a real huge TV person, but every once in a while, a show like this will come around where I'm like, yeah, I'm in.
Yep.
So, just wanted to throw out a few facts of the original series. It debuted October 1st, 2006. I can't believe it's that fucking old. That's so 15 years since it first debuted.
That's crazy.
Which is a long fucking time.
That really is, yeah.
Yeah, that was a few weeks before our middle son was born.
Wow. Who is in high school.
Yeah, and it ended, the finale of season 8 was September 22nd of 2013. So a little over 8 years ago now. The show's been over. So
it doesn't seem like it's been that long. To me.
Yeah, well, I mean, it ended when we were still living at our last house. So
really? Oh yeah, that's true.
It ended before we ever moved here.
That's true.
It feels like we've been in this house for fucking ever. But anyway, it's based on a 2004 novel by a guy named Jeff Lindsay called Darkly Dreaming Dexter. This ended up becoming a 7-book series by this guy. The first season was based on the first book, and I guess they've kind of diverged from there. Now, I wanted to ask you, because you're a huge book reader. You've read a shitload of books over the years. Did you ever read the Dexter books?
I honestly have never even heard of them. I didn't realize that was a thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I had no idea until I saw the show notes.
That's funny because I could have swore you knew that. But yeah, according to all of the sources that I've read, the first season follows the first book pretty damn close. And then they kind of diverge from there. But yeah, he was writing books all the way up to 2015. So I'd be really curious to read the books and see kind of in the direction he goes with some of those.
Yeah, that's true. It could have been a thing where at the end of season 4, for example, you know, the season 4 ending with Rita didn't happen, and maybe he just kept going on that path kind of thing.
Right. And I think, yeah, I don't think the Trinity Killer was even a thing in the books. So,
Ooh.
yeah, very interesting. Something as I was doing my research, I was very disappointed to find out it's not actually filmed in Miami because the whole show takes place in Miami,
Oh.
Florida. It was filmed in like fucking Long Beach, California.
That's lame.
I'm like, you just destroyed everything I thought I knew.
Yeah.
Because you really kind of get the feel of like Miami while they're down there.
Yeah, absolutely. They really captured it
And, yeah, in Long
because they were
Beach.
there, I thought.
Yeah, I know.
Now I'm rethinking,
Yeah.
that.
So, but yeah, no, filmed in Long Beach, but it takes place in Miami. And the first thing that I'm thinking as I'm going back and watching some of these recap videos that talk about all the seasons is like, God damn, how many serial killers are in fucking Miami?
Right.
Because over the course of the 8 years, Dexter comes across multiple serial killers. He's one himself.
Heat makes people crazy.
Yeah. And
It's Florida.
yeah, apparently that's what it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I think it's the humidity more than the heat probably, and the gators that would make anyone insane, like
Yeah.
constantly being in fear of getting eaten by an alligator.
And the hurricanes and the
Yep.
bugs.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, a lot of serial killers in Miami apparently.
Yeah.
But wanted to just do a quick recap of the seasons. So the first season was the introduction where we're introduced to Dexter, who is, like we said, a serial killer because he's got this need for blood. But because they wanted him to be a sympathetic character, he only kills bad people. So he only kills other murderers.
Right.
Which again makes it interesting because he kills fucking 50 people throughout the course
They
of this.
want us to be on the side of the serial killer
Right. So
by making him a sympathetic character.
yeah, and they do it right off the bat because the very first episode is like a pedophile who like raped and murdered like a bunch of boys, and that's like the first guy he kills. So right off the bat, they're making you, really cheering for this guy because he's killing this fucking like piece of shit that's deserves to die,
Right.
By these vigilante ways. So yeah, and. The whole first season is about introducing us to Dexter, and the supporting cast is Sister Deborah, and then we have the ice truck killer, which is introduced right in the beginning, which is a guy who drains his victims of all of their blood, chops up their body as in like butcher type methods, and yeah, leaves the corpses. And Dexter has to kind of like figure out who the hell he is. Come to find out, this is where we're going to start getting into some heavy spoilers. So if you still want to see the original series and you don't want some major spoilers, now's the time to turn off the show. Turns out to be his brother. So, yeah, finds out his actual birth brother is the ice truck killer who knows about Dexter, and they were both in the same room when their mother got hacked to pieces, which is why they're both fucked up. Eventually kills his own brother. And that's pretty much season 1. But the seeds that they planned in season 1 really lead into season 2 because the other cop, Doakes.
I love Doakes.
Yeah, Doakes was such an entertaining character.
Give me the fucking creeps. You know that?
Surprise, motherfucker. And he's really on to Dexter, and he suspects he was somehow involved with the whole ice truck killer thing. And throughout all of season 2, he's following him around. Just as in season 2, all of the fucking bodies that he dumped into the bay all get discovered, and now they realize they have like the biggest serial killer in fucking history on their hands. So, and that's what season 2 is. It's the whole the Bay Harbor Butcher,
Who is Dexter?
who is Dexter.
Right.
Yeah, but now everybody fucking knows about it. Doakes suspects Dexter. It's a whole big thing. But yeah, to me, this was possibly the best season of the show. Like, I know a lot of people think that season 4 is, but I gotta say, I think season 2 is still my favorite.
I think that season 2 has everything in it that makes Dexter great.
Mm-hmm.
It has, him trying to cover up, frantically backpedaling, covering his tracks, where everyone who he works with is closing in on him, and he's keeping secrets from everyone. And it really leans heavily on the Miami backdrop.
Yeah.
And it's the most Dexterish season of Dexter.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point too with the drama about his world kind of unraveling around him and everything. There are several seasons where that really plays a major role in it, and they're really leaning on that again in New Blood without getting into any spoilers. It's again the situation that he finds himself in, constantly having to try to cover his tracks, constantly like trying to stay ahead as things are like just like getting closer and closer to just like unraveling on him.
Yeah, having the mask on of a certain persona, and hiding himself from absolutely everyone around him. So yeah, that was what made season 2 really good. Also Lundy.
Oh my God, yeah, because that was where we were introduced to Special Agent Lundy. What is that actor's name?
I have no clue.
Fuck, hold on. I'm gonna look that up. We're gonna do this live. Dexter.
Make sure you say it out loud as you're typing.
Agent Lundy. Why can't you just tell me? Why don't you just tell me the name of the actor? Keith Carradine. Yeah. Older gentleman, dignified.
Good job. Can wear a suit. Smart.
One of the two of us really likes that character, so I wonder if you can guess which one it is. But yeah, and Deb pulls a Kristen, and she's
all over that. Yep.
Yeah, she's all over Special Agent Lundy, despite their like 30-year age difference.
Doesn't matter.
You made me lose my train of thought.
That's okay. This is a good one.
Yeah. And oh my God, this is also the season where Lila was introduced. the British girl who I think Deb described her as she's like a fucking vampire. She's like, she's pale. You can't be in Miami and be pale. She's a fucking vampire. And there was the one scene too after her and Dex started sleeping together where Deborah goes into his house to confront him. And she walks into his bedroom. And he's like, "What the fuck, Deb?" And he's got candles all over the fucking room. And she's like, "Were you trying to fuck her or set her on fire?" I thought that was hilarious. And that's the great thing about Deb. We haven't really talked about her, but the foul mouth, just no filter, just says exactly what's on her mind. I actually love that about that character.
Yeah. I didn't at the time. She was not my favorite at the time that we watched the original series. But I grew to love her, and glad to see that she's back in some capacity.
Mm-hmm. And the shame about the end of season 2 is the fact that we do lose Sergeant Doakes.
Yeah.
Because he figures out Dexter's the Bay Harbor Butcher. And I mean, obviously at this point, you're still sympathetic towards Dexter, but like Doakes didn't really do anything wrong. Like he didn't do anything to like, make the audience dislike him. He wasn't a murderer. He didn't,
right.
He was just basically doing his job.
Yeah.
Maybe a little unethical at times.
Being mean to Dexter is not enough.
Right.
Yeah.
So obviously Dexter doesn't kill him, but Lila does.
Yeah. I mean, I was sad to lose him.
Yeah.
He was one of my favorites.
Yeah, he was a great character. And again, he kind of got the shaft because he didn't really do anything wrong per se. Mm-hmm. It's a shame
Definitely didn't fit the code.
Yeah. And he couldn't figure out they couldn't figure out a way to like him to live and to resolve this whole storyline.
Right.
So they killed him, and and that was kind of where season 2 ended, though LaGuerta, the lieutenant,
but she lived.
She did live.
She was super annoying the whole time. I did not appreciate her.
She had a couple of decent moments. Like, for the most part, yeah, she was always sort of an antagonist to both Deborah. She was really bad with Deb. Like, she treated her like shit all the time. And even Dexter to a point. However, I think they still weren't quite sure what they were doing with her character in the beginning because, like, one of the first episodes, it was either the first or second episode, she was, like, flirting with Dexter.
That's true.
Where she, like, she wanted his dick. And he's like, okay. And he just kind of, like, rebuffed her advances as much as he could. But then she actually had a moment, it might have been in season 2, where she was feuding with this other female lieutenant at the time. And where she was like, they really portrayed her as like the crazy ex-girlfriend, because she was like trying to use the police station to dig up dirt on her ex-boyfriend, and she's fucking psycho, right? And she had taken LaGuerta's job as the lieutenant, something like that. I can't remember the whole details. So they were kind of at odds. But when the head of all the police came to LaGuerta, he's like, hey, what do you think about her? Give me some dirt on her, and I'll, shit can her, and you can have your job back. And LaGuerta held firm. She's like, no, you're not going to play us against each other. I've seen all this, sexism play out in the fucking workplace. You're not going to play us against each other. I'm not going to fucking, stab her in the back to you. So she had a decent moment like that.
Yeah, she wasn't a bad, character, not a bad person, but I found her kind of annoying. I mean, certainly not as compelling as Doakes or Lundy.
Right. Yeah, and I think for the most part she was meant to, but at the end I think her character kind of got the shaft as well. But we'll get to that. Season 3 was, we were kind of building up, and then season 3 I felt like we got a bit of a plateau. This is the season where they introduced Miguel Prado, Jimmy Smith's character,
yeah.
And then you also had the Skinner was the main murderer in this one. It was an okay season. It wasn't bad. There was some good storytelling in there, and this was our first character that Dexter sort of befriends, that finds out who he is and what he does, which never seems to work out.
No,
go figure.
No, I did not enjoy season 3. That's one of the lowest in my opinion.
Yeah, but again, it's not bad per se.
No,
I wouldn't call it a bad season or any of the episodes bad episodes. It's just kind of like, yeah. After those first 2 seasons, the excitement really kind of just levels off or even dips a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
But I feel like you kind of had to have that, because we roll into the next season, season 4, which is the pinnacle of the show by most standards.
Right.
That's the Trinity killer, John Lithgow, coming in.
I cannot look at his face, even now, 10 years later, however many years later. I cannot look at his face. He gives me the creeps.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Just because of this season of this show.
Yeah. I know that, even if I see a picture of him smiling, I know that he could wipe that smile off his face and then give the look at any given time.
Yeah. No, he played that role super well.
Yeah.
As the Trinity killer. And yeah, it was such a unique season where, Lundy comes back.
Woo!
And they're on the Trinity killer case. Dexter finds out who he is and tries to infiltrate their little Habitat for Humanity thing or whatever it is that they're doing.
Oh yeah, I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, and kind of befriends him, because I guess at the time Dexter's also having this existential moment where he's trying to balance family life, because we didn't talk really about Rita at all,
right.
But him and Rita had a kid together. Yep. Rita, who was his girlfriend from the start of the series, she was very asexual at the start of the show, because she had gotten out of an abusive relationship. And Dexter, who we haven't really talked about much, the character himself, but he was just a very closed off, very emotionless guy that just kind of spent most of his life just pretending to be a normal person.
Right.
And
so it was a good match for him.
It was. Yeah, she was a great kind of cover story for him. So yeah, and but it's at one point their relationship finally got physical, and they had the baby together. They had Harrison, and he's having this crisis where he's trying to balance his family life with his fucking work, and then his extracurricular activities.
Yeah. And him surprisingly not hating being a parent, not hating being I don't know if they were married, husband.
Yes, they did get married.
Get married. Trying to realize that, maybe he could be a normal guy. He was actually happy with that part of his life and wrestling with, maybe this is all I need. Maybe I don't need the killing stuff.
Yeah.
And he was, had the end of season 4 not happened, he might have gone, on a different path where he says, I don't need this anymore. Yeah. I've grown as a person, and, this is enough.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's not the way it played out, because the Trinity killer, for anybody who's seen the show, killed Rita right before Dexter caught him and finished him off, but not before He killed Rita, left Harrison in a pool of her blood, just like Dexter when he was a baby. Very symbolic, and something that may come back around again. But yeah, crazy season. Like, super twist ending. Like, I don't think I saw that coming when we watched it.
I remember being just in complete shock.
Yeah.
You know, how could they actually have gone through with that? Because it just seems so out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
You know.
And even the actress who played Rita. Okay, sorry, some weird stuff going on in the chat. Sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, the actress who played Rita was taken by surprise too when they told her, like, hey, we're going to kill your character off. And I guess it was late in the filming of season 4 that she was informed, like, yeah, we're killing off Rita and your services are no longer going to be required. So that came kind of as a shock to her.
Yeah.
Because I was watching an interview with her fairly recently. But anyway, we move on after that high to the Julia Stiles season, which takes place around this guy. He's like a motivational speaker, but he also runs this fucking rape cult of guys that they kidnap women and they keep them locked up in basements and they like fucking rape them and all this other stuff. Nothing too fantastic about this.
I don't remember much about this one.
Yeah, this is another thing. Well, Julia Stiles' character was named Lumen, which I know was a big point of ire for a lot of people because a lot of people said that's not a real name.
It's a horrible name.
And she finds out, again, who Dexter is, and now he's got another person in his life who knows what he does and even helps him with the killing sometimes, much like Jimmy Smith's character in season 3. The big thing about this, though, was the alleged affair that Michael C. Hall had with Julia Stiles, because that would potentially play into the way later seasons progressed, because this is my theory. I base this off of only the shit that I've heard. In season 6, in the Colin Hanks season with the religious aspect and everything, this is also the season where Deborah starts seeing a psychiatrist because she got a new promotion and is dealing with a bunch of stuff, dealing with like the aftermath of seeing Lundy get killed. And throughout the course of this, the psychiatrist kind of starts talking to her about Dexter and like, the way you talk about your adopted brother like makes me think that you love him and all this other stuff. And it seemed like they were leading into a love angle between Dexter and Deborah, because they're not blood related. So, you know, technically it could happen. And I think the reason they were doing that is because Michael C. Hall and Jennifer Carpenter were married in real life.
Yeah.
They got married around the season 4 time frame of the show. Season 5 comes around. They're newlyweds, but then enter Julia Stiles into the picture. Again, allegedly, if you believe Hollywood rumor and innuendo, the chemistry between Michael C. Hall and Julia Stiles was very apparent, to the point where they made adjustments to scenes that they filmed based on the high chemistry between the two actors, allegedly. Then, of course, if you believe the rumors, he had an affair with her off screen, which affected his relationship with Jennifer Carpenter, which
naturally
that whole marriage ended about the time season 6 ended. Like, that's when they like started their separation and their divorce, was right towards the end of season 6, which is right where they were just starting to introduce that whole Deborah's in love with Dexter storyline, which is why when they pick up in season 7, it damn near gets dropped immediately. Now, this could have just been because I know there was a pretty big fan backlash. Most people didn't like that angle.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
I didn't mind it. I wouldn't have minded seeing where that would have gone, but
Nowhere good.
probably not. But the whole thing was nixed anyway, between obviously those two splitting up in real life and the fans not really warming up to the idea. So it was very quickly dropped in season 7. But yes, the end of season 6 is where Deborah catches Dexter killing the religious guy, like right at the end. So that, to me, led into some really good episodes at the beginning of season 7 as they're dealing with the fallout of Deborah finally finding out after all these years that Dexter is who he is and what he does. Like those first 2 episodes of season 7 I thought were fantastic. As she's, at first he like claims, oh, it was self-defense. This is the first time I've done this. And then towards the end of that episode, she ransacks his apartment, finds all of his fucking knives, finds the blood slides. And then, the real fallout is in that second episode of season 7.
Yeah.
And I thought that was some of the best television they did in the show were those couple episodes.
I don't remember them very much.
Yeah. I only remember because I've recently gone back and rewatched a lot of this. This is also the season where Hannah is introduced. Hannah, played by Yvonne Strakovsky, attractive young lady.
I'd say so.
Yeah. Because she is introduced as somebody who's known to have killed, and she's on Dexter's radar. And at first, he's like, all right, I'm going to just kill her like I've killed all these other people.
Right.
Gets her strapped onto the table. I guess he's kind of expecting her to, like, cry or be angry or whatever, like everybody else that he's ever strapped to his table before he kills them. And she doesn't. She's just like, do what you got to do. And I think that sort of like flipped a switch in his head, and he's like, oh,
I like her.
yeah. Cuts her free. They're fucking on the table at that point. And yeah, so Hannah's now a major part of the show. This is also the season where LaGuerta finally closes in on Dexter.
She's still around.
She is. She's still around, and yeah, she basically figures out that Dexter was the Bay Harbor Butcher, also killed Travis at the end of the last season, and she confronts Deborah because she knows Deborah knows about it. Leads to a fucked up finale. Super fucked up scene where basically Dexter's like, I gotta kill LaGuerta. And
oh yeah,
and Deborah's like, you can't do that, and Ghost Dad's like, you can't do that, she doesn't fit the code, but it's the only way that he's gonna get out of it. So he sets a trap for her, fucking tranquilizes her, and then Deborah shows up because she knows something's fucking going on, and she's like, Dexter, you can't fucking do this. LaGuerta wakes up and she's like, fucking Deborah, shoot him, take him down, and Deborah fucking kills LaGuerta.
Yep.
Super fucked up. But again, it was kind of the only way they could resolve that whole situation, I guess. So Dexter again didn't break the code, but he also turned his sister into a cold-blooded killer. Yeah. So
yeah,
major change for the Deborah character from then on out.
Right. Yeah. She had to be. She had to change at that point.
And then we go into the last season, the infamous last season.
What is?
I even labeled it as Fart in Church in our notes.
I don't even. Now I know nothing about season 8.
Season 8, it's the one where that psychiatrist, a new psychiatrist, starts talking to Dexter. Come to find out, she knew his dad. She helped him with the code. But coincidentally, her son is also a serial killer who's out killing people in Miami. The brain surgeon, as he's called. Yeah, so it's this whole big convoluted story. Now it wraps the psychiatrist in to Dexter's whole backstory, and she's sort of involved with both Dexter and Deborah, trying to help them move on. The son kills her, shoots Deborah at some point during the season, shoots her like in the gut, but she's okay. She's just hospitalized, they're visiting her, and she's like, yeah, Dexter, keep, pursuing your plans, because at this point Dexter's gonna run away with Hannah. He's gonna take Hannah and Harrison and go move to Argentina. And he's, saying goodbye to all the people in Miami. And Deborah gets shot. He kills the brain surgeon. And then Deborah just has complications from surgery and fucking dies in the hospital. I'm like, what the fuck? It was the most random thing. It almost felt like an afterthought. Like, they got up to this point, they're like, yeah, we'll have Deborah live after this. And then like, well, do we really want to have that loose string hanging out there? So we'll just like kind of kill her off screen.
Yeah, no, it's not the worst season in the world, but when you get down to the last couple episodes, it did the Game of Thrones thing. We were all like, these last 2 episodes are going to be great. And then all of a sudden it goes in a crazy direction that doesn't make any sense. And you're left wondering what just happened.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, Dexter fakes his own death, does not go to Argentina, lets his son go with this woman that he kind of barely knows.
Who also kills people.
Yeah, who also kills people, to Argentina.
You forgot the worst part.
What's that?
That he kidnapped Deb.
Oh, yeah. He took her lifeless body from the hospital because she basically was on...
Left with it.
Yeah, brain dead on life support. So he took her off the life support, took her body, and just dumped her into the ocean. For
some reason, yeah.
As a hurricane was coming. And then, the last scene is him as like a fucking lumberjack somewhere in like northern Oregon or some shit.
We still don't know where he is.
Yeah, and that was where the season ended, and it was such a bad ending.
It really was. It was How I Met Your Mother ending bad.
Was that bad?
Everybody knows it was bad.
The How I Met Your Mother?
Everybody agrees it was bad.
Really?
Everybody.
Because of the mom dying, or?
Because of who he ended up with.
Oh, okay.
Everybody hates it. Every single person hates it.
I didn't dislike it. But I also didn't dislike the Game of Thrones ending. So.
Ugh. Ugh. It was so bad.
Yeah. So, such a great show that ended on such a shitty note for these last 1 or 2 episodes, like you said. Like, the way they handled Deborah, I hated the fact that they killed her off, especially in such just a weird way.
Right.
She gets shot, but she's going to be okay. And then all of a sudden, off-screen complications during surgery, and now she's brain dead.
Yeah, and then she's just gone. It didn't make a lot of sense. It didn't fit the character. It didn't fit the show at all.
Yeah.
It was seriously like they got to the last episode and had to change what they were going to do for some reason.
Right, yeah, and that's what it really feels like. It feels like they were just kind of winging it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was so strange. And I feel like that's one of the main reasons why Showtime has revived it with this New Blood.
It needed redemption.
Yeah, because it was such a good show for so long and then just ended so poorly that, like, I think people were angry.
Yeah.
You know, and it left such a bad stain on the legacy of the show where they had to do it. And the good thing about this is the guy who ran the show, I didn't write down his name, but the guy who was in charge of the show for like the first 4 seasons came back for Dexter New Blood. Brought back Michael C. Hall, brought back Jennifer Carpenter in the more dark passenger role, like fulfilling the role that his ghost dad did.
I do not miss Ghost Dad.
No?
No, I do not miss him.
See, I have a soft spot for him because he's played by James Remar, who played Ajax in The Warriors, which is one of my favorite movies. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I have a soft spot for that actor. I'll always like anything that he does.
I didn't feel that he added much to the show. He just kind of got in the way.
Yeah.
But I feel like the role as played by Deb now, she serves more of a purpose. She's a lot more critical. She's really, when you talk about like angel on one shoulder and devil on the other, she is definitely the devil.
Yeah.
She is giving voice to the thoughts that, that he wouldn't be able to.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, she's not very nice about the way she deals with him sometimes. She does
not like how things went down.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and obviously this is all like in his mind, but even he knows, like, she probably feels like she got fucking shafted in life, and now she's going to be bitter and fucking angry.
That bitter is the right word. Yes.
Yeah. And you can really feel that as she's interacting with Dexter in the New Blood series. But overall, like I said, we're 4 episodes into New Blood, and without getting into too many spoilers, I feel like it's fucking great so far.
I love it.
Yeah.
I was kind of on the fence, when we were talking about starting this new season. I was on the fence for a couple reasons. First of all, I loved the first Dexter. Mm-hmm. I loved it so much. A lot of times, and it's like this with books as well, when I read like the perfect book, I find out that the author has other books, and I have no interest in them because it was so perfect. It can't be better. I want it to stay in my mind as a perfect memory. Mm-hmm. So, and not to mention the ending sucked from the original Dexter.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if they'd, carry on from the sucky ending or if it'd be at the level of the other 99% of the minutes that we watched. So I was kind of on the fence.
Yeah.
But I love it. I absolutely love it. And I feel that it really captures the vibe of of the original, which is really weird
Yeah.
because it's years later. Everyone's aged. And we as viewers have aged. It's set in the snow versus Miami, which was such a big part of the show.
Yeah.
Everyone walked around in those stupid floral shirts and the dumb straw hats, and they all, went out to on the water all the time. And now all of a sudden they're in Canada, where we don't even know where they are. But it still feels very Dexter.
Yes. Just in a different setting, which is good. Because if they just went back to Miami again, then I don't know how fresh it would feel. But new setting, same sort of vibe. Like we said, Dexter's got this new life built around him, but things transpire in these first couple episodes, and it already feels, just 4 episodes in, like everything's about to fucking clamp down on him, and like shit could go down at any moment, and it's very tense, and it's good. It's
very much enjoying it. We've only seen 4 episodes, we think. I think.
And there's 10 total this season.
Okay. And how many are out right now?
8.
8. Okay, so we should probably not wait too long to watch the finale. Just in case.
I am already like having to dodge spoilers like a motherfucker for this show, because I guess my Google News feed knows that I like Dexter, and the problem with that is people put fucking spoilers in the goddamn headlines of their articles.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's one spoiler that I know for sure.
Aw.
It's of our returning character that we haven't seen yet.
Lundy?
I can't. He's dead.
Oh.
But I know that there's a character that comes back because I saw it in a fucking headline. It's like, come on, guys. Really?
Yeah.
You had to just be like, blah, blah, blah. Back in, episode 6 of Dexter New Blood. It's like, are you fucking... Girl.
Well, don't tell me.
Yeah, no, I won't. But I won't be as surprised when this person shows up. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's cool. But otherwise, yeah, I think it's doing a great job of addressing some of the shortfalls of the season 8 finale. And yeah, it's not disappointing.
Not at all.
And I'm really, really intrigued to see where it goes from here.
Same, absolutely.
Yep.
I really like the small cast that they've assembled for the new one. Wasn't a big fan of the cop at first, but she's grown on me.
Oh yeah,
I like her a lot.
She's the sheriff, right?
I was just trying to be as vague as possible.
Right.
I don't know I think she's maybe the police chief.
Yeah. Either way, you'll know who she's talking about like 10 minutes into the first episode.
Yeah. Try not to say anything
Yeah.
at all spoilery. But yeah, no, I really like the cast of characters that they've put together.
Yeah, which that was always one of the better parts of the original series too, was just the eclectic cast of characters between like fucking we already talked about Doakes, but also Batista. I thought he was funny. He was like a big teddy bear of a guy. You also had Masuka, who was my favorite, who was just like the horny little Asian guy. He was great. I also really like Hannah. We had Quinn. We haven't talked about Quinn and the many faces of Quinn.
He turned to leather.
I know. It was so weird.
He started to petrify in front of our eyes.
Yeah. It was very strange. But yeah, no, it's got a good cast of characters around it. And yeah, I'm really excited to see where it goes from here. And there's rumor that there might be more seasons.
Yeah, that's something that I really want to be able to Google. I don't want to know I don't want to get spoilers.
Right.
So I want to Google, like, how many episodes will there be? Is this a limited run? Is this just going to run, forever until it's canceled kind of thing? Or do they have it as a certain number of episodes and then it's done? But I don't want to, I'm trying to stay off all Google for Dexter. So.
Yep, same. So, that's really all I had note-wise for Dexter. If you haven't seen the original Dexter for whatever reason, well, and if you're listening this far, you've heard all the spoilers, but it's still a great show to watch.
It's fantastic.
Absolutely loved it. Just, again, take the last season with a grain of salt and just know that they do eventually start rectifying things.
See, I was just looking at this list of seasons, and although I've said, we've said that season 4 is the best and season 8's not that great, it all in all, it operates on such a high level of quality. When you're comparing anything to season 4, it's going to be less than. So none of them were terrible television other than the last 2, episodes of the series.
Yeah.
I certainly wouldn't based on recommendations, watch Dexter, but then stop at season 4 because supposedly it's not as good. It's not as good, but it's still great. It's still great TV.
Yep. And Hasak Kikzi in the chat says Vom Red. So it's interesting.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Anything else before we close this up?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on and filling
Thank
Dave's
you.
big shoes. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
And I do have one Red 5 thing I want to read. So this is from our social media director, Luna Girl. She is doing an end of the year giveaway. She has 3 swag packs containing our Sidebar Cantina neon sign stickers, Sidebar Cantina holographic Twi'lek sticker, plus a Red 5 network button pin. To win one of these swag packs, you must A, be a follower of our podcast who hasn't already left us a review, 2, write us a 5-star review of 3 or more sentences on Apple, D, DM Lunar Girl a screenshot of your review on any of the Sidebar Cantina social media sites, or 6, post your review on Twitter or Instagram, being sure to tag both us and the Red 5 Network. The end of the year giveaway starts right now. So do that. Please leave us a 5-star review wherever you can leave reviews, preferably on Apple, but anywhere is always good. In fact, I don't think I checked for 5-star reviews this week. So again, we're going to do this live whilst I look at stuff. Riveting television, I know. All right, still haven't gotten anything since the Happy Veterans Day review, so you're letting us down, people. Please write us a review and do it, and you'll get a swag bag from Luna Girl. Otherwise, this Thursday, the 30th, Dave and I will be doing our Book of Boba Fett Episode 1 recap. Mm-hmm. Very excited about that. Back into the Star Wars, the Filoni-verse. So, or would it be the Favreau-verse? The Favreau-Filoni-verse.
Don't look at me.
Yeah. Either way, super excited. I probably won't be watching it until fairly late Wednesday night. But yeah, can't wait to talk about it. And please join us. Probably our normal time, 5:30-ish p.m. on Thursday. Nothing.
I won't be there.
Oh, yeah, you'll be working.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro.
It happens.
But hey, at least you were here today. Mm-hmm. So we do appreciate it. And then the following week, we're finally going to talk about James Webb, which had its successful launch on Christmas Day. And yeah, we'll get into that. So I suppose that's it.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you again, Kristen. Thank you to everybody watching on YouTube. Thank you to all of our audio listeners. We appreciate everybody. Check us out at Patreon, patreon.com/the Sidebar Cantina. And until next time, Kristen and everybody else, yeah, go fuck yourself.
What do I do? What?
You had to do the, now what do I click?
I'm not Dave.
Well, somebody has to do it. I can't do it.
Why not? I think as the second in command, it's up to you. Do the voice.
Okay, now what do I click?
That was good.
Wasn't the same.
No, it was not.
All right, and that is that. Yeah, somebody asked in the chat, who's going to bring out brownies?
I know. I'm waiting. Hopefully somebody.
Yeah, get one of our kids to do it.
They're not allowed out here.
Yeah. But all right, guys. Hope that was good. She is female Dave. She has to do it. You're female Dave. So
that's fine.
So, well, you were supposed to do the what do I click?
Oh.
And you failed. But that's fine. Export as MP3. This is the portion where I start saving the audio files. Episode 227, like the TV show.
I love that show.
Did you?
I watched it. You know when I was on that as a guest on that MTV show? Remember the white guy from 227 in the last few seasons? All right. When I was in high school, I was in the studio audience of an MTV show.
Okay.
And they had 3 guest stars.
Okay.
And one of them was the white guy from 227.
And what was the show that you were on?
Oh my God. It's the lip syncing show.
Lip service?
Yes, lip service.
Okay.
And one of the guests was Run DMC.
Oh, no
The
shit.
group. And the third one, I have no idea.
Did you ever see it when it aired?
I don't know. I don't think so.
So you've never gone back to look to see if you could find episode?
It's not on the internet. I have scoured the internet. It was 93, 94-ish.
Uh-huh.
And it's not on the internet. I've looked at lists of shows where I've tried to match up because they had rotating guests.
Right.
Try to find out which episode it was based on the guests. It's just the information is just not there.
Huh.
It was in the early days of the internet. I
Boy.
tried so hard.
Man, we're getting all kinds of crazy spam in the chat all of a sudden. Let me see. Lip service.
I've tried it.
Yep. February of 92 to January of 93. And you said Run DMC was on the show?
They were a guest. There were 3 guests. And they were considered one guest.
Yeah. Huh.
I know. I can't find a date for it. I know it was like sophomore or junior year.
Right. Huh.
Yeah, it's not on the internet. I've tried.
But if we could find that, we'd possibly see a young you in the audience?
Possibly.
Oh my God, that would be great.
It would be great.
Oh man. Okay. So, yeah. We'll have to do some internet sleuthing at some point.
So yeah, 227, which I also watched anyway. So
Right.
it was a good show.
I can recall seeing like a couple episodes of that, but
It was the kind of thing that was on like at 2 p.m. and when you were sick home from school.
right.
You know.
I mean, I think initially it was in like prime time.
Oh yeah, I'm
right?
sure.
But yeah, it made a lot of syndication.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Oh well. All right. Well, we were done pretty quick there.
I know.
6:30.
It was a short episode.
Enough time to go watch some Dexter tonight.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. It's hard talking about the new season without actually talking about the new season.
Yeah.
So.
Because yeah, there's shit that goes down in the first episode that I want to say.
Oh yeah.
But I want people to experience for the first time
Right.
too. So. Yeah. Are you excited for Book of Boba Fett?
I know nothing about it.
You know as much as the rest of us. You remember Boba Fett was part of the last season of Mandalorian.
Yes.
The very last scene of Mandalorian season 2 was Boba rolling into Jabba's palace, fucking clocking Bib
Yes.
Fortuna,
Yes.
taking the throne.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, you're usually pretty quick with her, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah. What?
Not cool,
I
man.
wasn't talking to you.
Oh, right, I'm sure. Can't catch a break, can I? All right. Well, we only have a couple people left viewing anyway, so I guess this is a good time as any to go ahead and end the broadcast. Broadcast. English, motherfucker, do you speak it? So, alrighty. Well, I think we're going to end the stream now. Thanks again for joining us. Hope it was entertaining.
Yes.
And we will see you all on Thursday.
Thursday.
Peace.
Bye.